Wish TV is proud to honor teachers in Central Indiana
She is an inspiration to all of us.
He's always smiling.
who go above and beyond,
He's done so many things for so many people.
He's inspirational.
making a difference,
He's always taught me to believe in myself and never get down on myself.
Everybody's biggest cheerleader.
and deserving of recognition for their outstanding efforts in
I
education.
love the people that I work with, and to know that I've made an impact on somebody's life, it is truly a great honor.
It's an honor. I love what I do, and the kids are the ones who make it work. I'm like just so taken aback because I love them so much. The fact that, they love me just as much just means a lot. Sorry, you're gonna have to cut that part out.
And you are our winner.
Oh, thank you so much.
From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Golden Apple Awards podcast.
Hi, Hannah Mordeau here. December's winner is Miss Chelsea English. She's an IPS social worker at Shortridge High School. You heard this story. You understand why she is our winner. She does so much for young people to help them overcome real, raw, and at times devastating obstacles. She pours into these teenagers in Indianapolis. And we only really had a few minutes to talk to her during the surprise. It went fast. So I brought her back here on the podcast. Take a listen. Hey, Miss English, welcome to the podcast. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. Your story just aired this morning for context of when we're talking.
Yes, I saw. I've had my phone has been blowing up.
What's been the response so far?
Oh my gosh, it's just been so positive and so nice. And I got to watch the story, and it's just so, I just feel so much love right now, and I just appreciate it so much.
I have one more surprise for you.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can handle any more surprise.
Well, we just found out, we just finalized it, that starting next month, we have a sponsor partner, Hensley Legal Group, and they're going to give winning teachers $500, and they're going to give you and all of our previous teachers so far this school year $500 to spend however.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
So congratulations. You deserve
Thank
it.
you.
And consider that just a little gift for all your hard work. So I'll work out the details and getting that to you in a little bit, because that's not really what we're here to talk about. But I did want to let you know since we just found that out.
That is awesome. Thank you.
You do so much at Shortridge and at IPS. I mean, we even had video of you last night on Wish TV talking.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Task force. I was like, that's our winner. We talked to her. But you're out there in the community, stepping up, being an advocate for these students, but also being there for them emotionally, physically, in person at a lot of events. How and why do you do all of this?
So I think it's really comes from my core training as a social worker. When we're developing, our skills and the framework we work from, we really try to look at the whole child. So that can include, mental health, physical health, but also thinking about how that includes like healthy relationships in our community, having healthy recreational time, and then also looking at how our policies affect and trickle down on our abilities to provide a positive, school environment here. And so it's kind of in our social work ethos to interact with like the students, but also the community, and to be able to advocate for them and not just advocate for them, but teaching them how to advocate for themselves. So like I went to that meeting last night, but we had 7 students there, which was great. And so I always feel like if I'm able to show them like I can do this, I'm a normal person, I can go speak at the city council building or at the state house, like they can do it too. And I hope that I can kind of show them that it's anyone can be a part of that advocacy.
How have you seen that method work with young people?
So I think that like I said, one of my goals is not just to like help a student in the moment, but help them develop skills to really not like need me anymore. So, and I think that's like a lot of teachers, they want to help develop, critical thinking skills and research skills and all of that, so that our students are able to be really independent and grow up and graduate and be able to do all the wonderful things that we try to teach them here.
How do you manage facilitating that from like an educational standpoint and success in clubs and after school activities when some of them have such basic needs that you're also tackling?
Yeah. So it is hard because, for some kids, it's like they just want to make sure that they have food at home. This is part of coming up on winter break. Like this is I think I mentioned it's a very busy time for us because we're trying to make sure that kids have Christmas presents and have food for the break and all of that. So I just really have to be like, I think a jack of all trades, trying to make sure that they have those connections for their basic needs being met. But I think like being able to have fun is a basic need. And so that's part of my work is, and a lot of it too, is I really want to engage the students. I know that like a lot of the video showed what I do, but really I have a lot of student volunteers that do all the things that make the fun stuff happen. So and that's like part of the success, I think, is they pick out all the decorations, they shop for that stuff, and they set everything up, and they pass out the pizza, and they do all of those things. So it's kind of like developing their social skills and their leadership skills, but also making it really, it's for them. So they're really planning everything. So I facilitate it, but they really do a lot of the hard work.
One of your coworkers said that you have transformed this school in the last 5 years.
That's so nice.
It was, but it's true. She was like, we couldn't even do pep rallies 5 years ago, but you've had an ability to empower these kids to take ownership and do these fun things. How have you been able to do that, do you think? And walk us through where things started and where we're at now at Shortridge.
Yeah, I think like one part of it is that like I said, really the kids plan a lot of it and they do a lot of the work. And I think some of it is really just believing that they can do it. And there's a lot of people are just in education, they're just very tired and they're kind of like, like they can't handle it or they can't do this. And I just kind of say like, well, what if we try? And then I have a very supportive administration that kind of lets me do these things. And then I have a lot of, really supportive colleagues that do help with those, like the pep rally, really, that's like student government, and Mr. Wilson, who leads student government, gets engaged. And then yesterday we did our talent show and Miss Fox and Miss Sellers planned all the Minute to Win It games. So, but I think sometimes it's just like, like making a connection with people and asking them like, hey, do you want to, like, could you do this thing? Like you have this random talent and, planning these fun games and being really organized. They're a lot more organized than I am. I'm not actually a very type A person. So I think that like, just like general kindness and like getting to know people and asking people, if this is something that you'd be interested in. So I think it takes a little bit of that like camaraderie too with our coworkers. And I hope that is something that I've had a positive effect on, just helping people get to know each other and have like positive interactions with each other.
You could tell with the kids talking to them and seeing them, I mean, just how much they adore you. Can you talk to me a little bit about the Shine program and how that came about? We touched on it a little bit in the story, but tell me about that.
Yeah, so that was something that started, it was probably 2.5 years ago. Probably most educators can tell you, they've had students who have passed away in tragic ways, and it just really sticks with you. But I feel like there's just been a lot of violence in our city, and we have a lot of students that either have experienced or witnessed, or they just know what's happening, and it creates a lot of anxiety. And so I did a Changemaker project through the district. We have a program that's called the Changemaker Project, where they kind of give you support to come up with an idea and do it and do something different. And so that was again when I really engaged our like student leaders and kind of talking to them about what do they think would be the solution to some of this violence. And there's a lot of community centers that are doing work with students, and a lot of mentoring programs, and a lot of great things happening in our city. But the kids really were like, we just need a place to go. Like, they don't really have places to hang out anymore. They don't go to like the Circle Center Mall and hang out.
Yeah, like
as
we always
much
went to
like
the
we
mall
did.
growing up. Yeah.
Exactly. And so they were kind of like, we just really need a place to go that's fun and has food and, you know, like no transportation barriers because they're already at school. So we kind of do, it's usually once or twice a month, just kind of like fun activities, whatever they want to plan. We usually connect it with athletics. So what I might do is have like a game night this was what we did in December, a holiday like game night with our young Democratic Socialists of America Club. They planned everything and had games and pizza. And then the kids could go to the basketball game after. So it was kind of a way to help them plan kind of a healthy, fun, recreational evening instead of like being, you know, outside wandering, doing whatever. So we usually will do like a football game or whatever, tailgate kind of party. And kind of just try to provide like a safe place to be. And then the nice thing is, if there is some kind of issue, they have us as trusted adults to be there to help them through it instead of just being out, you know, in the world without supervision and support. So yeah, it's been really great. It's been really successful. It's fun to get to see, you know, all different kinds of kids come together. If they're like into music or sports or whatever, it kind of brings any type of kid together, because it's free and there's free food. So the kids will come.
Free food, free event, the kids will be there. Have you seen it make an impact, do you think?
I definitely think so. I think it's had a really positive impact on, and I do like surveys. I'll let them do just to kind of like anonymous surveys, just to kind of get feedback from them. And what I think it just makes it feel like a place they want to be. A lot of them have said, you know, the days that we have those events, they're more excited to come to school and they're more excited to see their friends, and they get to talk to people that are maybe in a different grade level that they wouldn't have met just in classes. So I think that it just creates this sense of like positivity that we have a nice school with nice things happening.
I love that. Did I read this correct that you're looking to expand the program and make it
so
something
I've really tried to, and I'm not a professional grant writer, so I haven't been able to get like really a good chunk of funding, but I have social workers at the other high schools that would be interested in expanding the program if we can get funding for it, because really we need funding for the food and the supplies. But I would really like to, and this is something that I haven't been able to do yet, but to give like I need extra help with supervision, and it's usually teachers that volunteer their time, and it's hard to ask people to give up their Friday night, but they do. And so if I can find a way to provide like a little gift card or something for the teachers that volunteer their time, that's part of what I've been asking for. So far I haven't really been able to get any like grant funding for it, but I haven't given up. I've gotten enough support and donations to continue. I've gotten from Winthrop Plumbing Supply is one of our sponsors, and Forum Bank. So shout out to them. So I've been able to continue the program here, but I really would love to find a way to support the other high schools to have the programming as well.
That makes sense. And hopefully it's something that you can do and keep going and growing, because it does sound like it's having such a difference.
Yeah.
I want to dig into a little more about you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
How did you get into social work? Did you always want to be a social worker, or always want to be in education, or what?
So yeah, I started as a journalism major, and I realized I didn't really like writing, but I loved like the social justice piece. And then I also kind of tried like education, but I really felt myself drawn to not so much the like teaching part, but the part about like supporting students and overcoming obstacles. And I also had an amazing social worker as a kid, and I just kind of felt like, I want to work with kids. Like I was so inspired by this person. And I found out about school social work. I didn't know that it was a profession that I could do. I didn't have a school social worker in high school, but I found out about it just researching through college. And so that's when I got into my MSW program and decided I wanted to, and I always wanted to be a high school social worker in IPS. This is, my community. I've always lived here. And so really this is like my goal, my career. This is my life's work. I hope it can continue to be. So yeah, that's kind of the path that brought me here.
So did you go to IPS schools?
No, I went to Perry Township.
Okay.
So
but
just
from
kind of down the
Indianapolis.
street
Yeah.
in Indianapolis. Yeah. And then have since graduating from Bloomington, lived in Broad Ripple and Fountain Square, and just like loved Indianapolis and loved being here in my community, just feeling very passionate about wanting to make it a better place. It's just something that drives me. I don't know, it's something inside and I can't help myself.
I love that. I'll admit it too. I hadn't really heard much about social workers' roles.
Yeah.
I'd heard of social workers, and then sometimes they're in schools, but you think my memory came up more with just like guidance counselors.
Yeah.
And then, so it's a very interesting role, but it seems like you are able to have really a pulse on what's going on in the school, maybe more so even than teachers, because they have a lot going on too. So
Yeah.
they can't necessarily take care of all these things. Why is the work that you do and you think social work so important?
Yeah, and I think you mentioned a good point. It's like the teachers have all of these myriad of tasks that they have to do, and that what they can focus on. And so my goal really is to help, intervene and be a problem solver when kids have barriers come up, so that teachers can continue teaching. And so I think that's kind of what I want to convey to, I don't know if I've told you this. I am the president of our state organization as well, the Indiana School Social Workers Association. I just became past president this month. So I that's part of my work, is like going to the legislature and talking about our profession, is that we want to be able to take those things on to help teachers keep teaching and help kids stay in the classroom and keep learning, just taking those things off of their minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your program Shine was something that, we featured over the summer. And over the summer, we had a lot of young people involved in crime here in Indianapolis, and sadly a lot of shootings. And here at TV, we started this thing called YAPVAC. It's Youth Alternatives to
But that
Violence
sounds
and
cool.
Crime. Yeah, so
Yeah.
we too want to try to do something. But I've been in news for 15 years, and this is an issue of young people and guns and like how to stop that I think society's been working on for a long time. Do you think it starts in the school systems of like kind of reaching kids when they're there?
Oh my gosh, I think it's like, how far back can we go? I mean, you could go back to hundreds of years, the starting of America, all the things that, the Constitution, all of those things. But I think that school can be a big part of the solution. And that's what I want to try to, I just have that in my mind, like, we can't be the only solution. I think, our community partners are a big part of the solution. Families are a big part of the solution. Policy is a big part of the solution. But what we can do, I want to try to do.
Do you think people should take the time to listen more to these teenagers? And
yeah, I think that's one of our missteps is that we're not listening to them. And I think that I've had a lot of people reach out about like my programming, and they want to come like preach to kids or mentor kids. And those things are, there's times when those things are helpful. And, but I also think there's times where kids don't really want to be preached at. They just want to have a positive experience, And so I think we as the adults need to like make sure that we're not like cutting them off and just trying to talk to them. We want them to be able to talk with us too.
Yeah, create that space for them to have fun.
Exactly.
Safely and free food.
Exactly.
Well, I won't take too much more of your time because I know you need to get to that student. But finally, is there anything else that you hope all of us can learn from your story and the work you're doing there at Short Ridge High School?
Oh my gosh, I'm just so grateful. It was so nice to see. And I want to thank you and your team for all the things that you do to celebrate us. And I think one of the things too is like, I felt like, it's hard. I think I'm sure a lot of people say things like this. It's hard to like accept the awards, the positive praise, because we know there's so many hardworking people in our profession. And so I hope that, we all just feel encouraged and ready for winter break and take our break and take the time we need. And I'm very grateful for my colleagues here. We have so many great people that I will also be nominating for all the awards and all the things so I'm just very grateful for all of this.
Oh, well, we're grateful for you and for taking the time, and you take your winter break.
Thank you.
Relax a little bit. You deserve it. And we so appreciate you talking to us and letting us highlight your story.
Thank you so much.
Miss English is working to get more grant money to expand her SHINE program to other schools. Speaking of money, you heard us surprise her with $500 thanks to our partners at Hensley Legal Group. We also surprised our previous 3 winners this school year, and the rest of the teachers starting in January will get a cash prize too. So this is big news. And it makes sense that if you have a special teacher or educator in your life, that they might have an opportunity to use that money on themselves or on their students. So we're going to continue honoring teachers and educators here in Central Indiana who go above and beyond to shape students and change lives. If you have a special teacher who deserves to be nominated, please tell us all about them. Just go to wishtv.com/goldenapple. Then listen here to see who our next winner is on the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The Wish TV Golden Apple Awards Podcast. Nominate a teacher and learn more at wishtv.com now. Be sure to follow and subscribe to this podcast and discover even more great podcasts now on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.